Hey Venture Kids, it's so great to see you, and we are continuing our theme on giving selflessly. Oh, hey Pascal, what are you doing?
I'm trying to grow bigger.
Oh, why are you trying to grow bigger, Pascal?
Well, I'm really little. So little that I can't do anything special.
Oh, well that's not true, Pascal. It doesn't matter if you're big or little. God can use anyone to make a big difference. In fact, that's our Bible point this morning. God can use children to make a big difference.
Really? Even someone as little as me?
That's right. In fact, in our Bible story today, you're going to see how a little servant girl was used by God to make a big difference in the life of a king.
Yeah, I love story time.
Me too. Let's jump right in to our Bible story. Naaman was a very important man in a very important army in a very important country. So you see, he was very, very, very important. But Naaman was sick. He had leprosy, which is a nasty thing that stops you from feeling anything. Bits of you fall off without you noticing, like bashed fingers and squished toes. It might sound funny, but it wasn't. And Naaman certainly wasn't laughing. There was no cure, it never went away, and in the end, it killed you. Naaman needed help. Now there was a little slave girl who worked for Naaman, and she knew someone who could help him. But there was a problem. Naaman was her enemy. Not long before, Naaman had led an army raid on her home in Israel. He had killed her whole family, carried her off to Syria, and made her into his slave. Every night, she cried herself to sleep. She had lost everything. Why would she, of all people, want to help Naaman? Didn't she hate him and want to hurt him back? Didn't she want to make him pay for the wrong he'd done? That's what you would expect, but instead of hating him, she loved him. Instead of hurting him back, she forgave him.
I want Naaman to get well,
she said to her mistress.
There's a man in Israel called Elijah who can heal him.
I'll go,
said Naaman, loading up his wagons and putting on his flashing armor.
but I'll go to the palace because that's where someone important like me gets healed.
So he hurried off to Israel and went straight to the king.
What do you give a dog with a fever? Mustard. It's the best thing for a hot dog. Come on now. Laugh at that one. That was funny. What's in the middle of a jellyfish? The jelly button. Hilarious. Did you hear about the two silkworms who had a race? It ended in a tie. That there was funny.
I'll go,
said Naaman, loading up his wagons and putting on his flashing armor.
but I'll go to the palace because that's where someone important like me gets healed.
So he hurried off to Israel and went straight to the king.
My healing, please,
He announced.
I can do lots of things,
The king said.
but only God can heal.
Just then a message from Elisha arrived. Send Naaman here, it read. So Naaman hurried off to Elijah's house. But Elijah didn't even come out to greet him. He just sent a servant instead.
Doesn't Elijah realize who I am?
Naaman thought. But what the servant said next made him even crosser.
Wash in there.
He said.
Just wash? In that slimy, stinky river?
He looked around to see if this was some kind of joke. It wasn't. Any person can wash in a river, he thought. I am Naaman. I am important. I should do something important so God will heal me. And he rode off in a rage. Of course, you and I both know that's not how God does things. All Naaman needed was nothing. It was the only thing Naaman didn't have. God knew that Naaman was even sicker on the inside than he was on the outside. Naaman was proud. He thought he didn't need God. His heart didn't work properly. It couldn't feel anything. You see, Naaman had leprosy of his heart. God was not only going to heal Naaman's skin, he was going to heal his pride. Naaman finally agreed to wash in the river, and instantly his skin became smooth like a baby. Naaman wanted to pay Elisha. God healed you. You can't pay, Elijah said. It's free. And so it was that a very sick man was healed, all because of a little servant girl who forgave him. God knew sin was like leprosy. It stopped his children's hearts from working properly, and in the end, it would kill them. Years later, God was going to send another servant to forgive as she did, to forgive all of God's children and heal the terrible sickness in their hearts. Their hearts were broken, but God can mend broken hearts. And that's our story.
Oh, I get it now. It doesn't matter how big or little you are. God can use anyone to make a difference.
That's right, Pascal. Even kids. God can use children to make a big difference. Wait, Pascal, where are you going?
I don't know why you're just sitting here. I'm going to make a big difference somewhere.
Awesome. All right, Pascal, you go. Have an adventurous week.
Hey Adventure Kids, this is the part of the show where you send in your questions to me, Jake, and I answer them. So let me grab my mailbag. Hi Jake, how can God put a thought in your mind? From Nora. That is an awesome question, Nora. Well, Nora, one of my favorite verses in the Bible is when God said he knit you together in your mother's womb. Can you imagine knitting a baby together? If God can do something as amazing as that, then he can definitely put a thought in your mind. I don't know exactly how that works, but that's going to be a question I ask when I get in heaven. Hi Jake, how many donuts can you eat in a minute? From Patrick. Let's find that out. Well, let's get the things out. I guess that's one less thing I can chalk off my list for going to college for. I barely got one. Hope I didn't disappoint you, Patrick. So remember, if you have a question for me, Jake, just go to the website takeawaywithjake.com and I'll be happy to answer your questions right here on the show.